What is up, everybody? It is your boy Farai. Thank you once again for tuning into another video. Today we're going to talk about how loud you should record your vocals at. So what we'll be doing is we'll be looking at a session I have and disabling all the plugins so you can hear exactly what my vocals sound like raw, sitting on top of a beat or sitting beneath a beat, so that you can kind of get a better idea of how you can approach your upcoming projects. So with that being said, make sure to smash like as well as subscribe. Shout out to notification gang. Or check out in the comment sections, tell me how you're doing. Feel free to recommend any videos you'd like to see in the future. With that being said, let's get it. Okay, so here we go. We're in the computer right now, and pretty much what I've done beforehand is I've disabled the vocal chain, which is pretty much controlling all of the levels. So what we're going to be listening to, I'll also disable the effects so we don't hear that parallel effect adding up, right? So we have no effects going on. We just have pretty much what I would have been listening to if I had not enabled. I usually record with this. This is the only plugin I'm recording with on. So we might as well actually just do that so I can actually give you exactly what I'm listening to while recording. So there we go. Let's take a listen. Let's also just disable that double effect because obviously I wouldn't have recorded that first. She keep calling my phone, let it ring. What more could I want? Not a thing, not a thing. When I met you, perfect timing. Damn, I've been really grinding. You shine bright like diamonds. Let me drape pass out. Ballin' at the club, sipping yak. Damn, I like the way you throw it back. I've been in the stool, killing tracks. Can't sleep, just can't relax. Late night, just riding. In the coupe, just sliding. Alright, so basically what I wanted to play for you was that I had softer parts, right, in the track, and I also had louder parts in the track, but nowhere ever did I actually clip, okay? So that's really the only rule, is that I don't want to distort, because if I distort something, no matter if I like the take or not, it's not going to sound right in regards to the rest of the mix, unless obviously all of the vocals are distorted. In that case, it is a distortion style track, but that was definitely not the intention for this song. So visually, you never want your vocals to hit the top there unless for some reason it sounds good. This is a listening based game. This is not a numbers based game. The only other thing I would definitely consider is we'll talk about gain staging soon, but you don't want to have too much crazy noise going on, right? So that's how I set my preamps. I look for a level that kind of, I can hear every single word going on, within the vocal and the beat, right? So I mean, like, anywhere here you'll hear every single word, I'm so glad you mine, cause I want you grinding. You shine bright like diamonds. Let me drape ass out. Even the quietest part there, drape ass out, that's quiet, drape ass out. But you can hear everything and it's there. That means that when it's mix time, I can get going. So that's the only rule that I have when recording. I want the energy to be there, but I don't want to be clipping. Alright, second to that is I do not want any sort of noise going on within the vocal. So if we solo it, there's going to be a little bit of noise, but that noise quickly gets drowned out because our ears are not capable of, listening to the noise and listening to the beat at the same time. If the noise is really low in the mix, our ears will just get rid of that. You know what I mean? I'm sure we can hear it all, but our ears are just getting rid of most of it. So just listen to this part right here and we'll see how much noise there actually is. Cause I want you, do you want me? I don't think I have a NoiseGate even on this one. It was just a quiet night, no aircon, nothing. Let's see if that pops up on the... So as you can see, we got under minus 45 decibels of noise on this meter right here, and that is perfectly fine. I know it is a bit loud. Things can get a bit noisy if you start lifting the level, sure. But if things were really noisy, then it really becomes difficult to mix. So those are the things that I want you to look out for. Is no distortion. You're getting that energy and you can hear every word without any use of any over crazy compressors and that kind of thing. All I'm using this channel for, which we'll talk about now, is just a bit of basic leveling and a bit of compression. You know what I mean? That way I know if I'm kissing the compressor correctly, it's going to have that energy and it's also not going to distort per se, right? Or within FL Studio. Now I'm not talking about in real time, you know what I mean, as you're recording. But I mean, there's not really too much to it, when setting your preamp, if you feel that you are cranking it so loud to the point where, the beat, obviously this is a very forgiving beat, I mean, it's not... I mean, I'm not doing anything with this plugin. You know, the beat sounds good. It was a well-produced beat. This is actually the actual master from this track, Dangerously in Love. There's just a section where there's nothing, so well, no vocals. So it's like, okay, we might as well sing over that, right? So it's mastered. It sounds good. You know, there's so much space for the vocal to flow. So that's usually the things that I look for setting loudness as well. Is like, okay, if the beat is really, really busy and I can't really rap over it, what are we going to do? Well, either we can turn it down. That's the first thing I usually do. If I'm cranking up my preamp so loud that I have no more, how can I say this, that there's too much noise now, it's distorting, I've ran out of headroom, right? Because I'm trying to set a level based on something that is too loud. So that's not good either. So professionally, what I would do is we turn it down by 10 dB, you know? And then now I can set up my preamp and I can record. But there's a balance between that. You know, one thing that I've learned is I record a bit louder these days because I want that energy to be there. But I'm able to record a bit louder because I'm in a treated room. You know what I mean? So there's pros and cons to everything. You can watch my older tutorials. They still sound good as well because I've learned how to, you know, with time work with the room that I have. So there are many things to consider, but those are the main things that I'd worry about. You also want to, I'll do another video on mic placement one day, but you also don't want to be recording like, you know, either right up here or too far back, because then you get way too little bass in and it doesn't sound warm and there's too much treble, you know. So those are things that you need to look out for. For now, that's all I already speak on. I don't want to get too crazy with filling your mind up with too much, but you know, I would just say get yourself a nice channel strip plugin so that it kind of sounds like you're recording through an analog console, and then you can do your little bits of toning here and there. Wait, we got the wrong one. You know, all I do, these are my default settings always, and that's why I always have a common ground, right? I have no other plugins on. I'll always start off with my common ground because then I can kind of listen. Okay, maybe there's a bit too much bass. Let me back away from the microphone while I record. And then while I'm recording, I make sure that every single take sounds as it sounds like all one family. Do you know what I mean? I'm not recording one take here and then the next take here and then the next take here and then the next take here, because what ends up happening is you end up with all these vocals that are just jumbled up with different distances, and then the EQ is different, and you know what I mean? There's too much bass in one section, too much treble in one section, and that's when your vocals start to fall apart and sound like I don't even know what's going on. You know what I mean? So the first few vocals are always important, you know?
She keep calling my phone, let it ring. What more could I want? Not a thing.
You see, those two things sound very similar, you know what I mean? In EQ, in tone, in balance, in volume, you know? And then as we kind of go to the crazy parts, right, when the drums kick in, we can record a bit louder. So we got a bit aggressive here.
Ballin' at the club, sipping, yeah.
And that's definitely more trebly than this part.
What more could I?
You know, this is da 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 da. It's kind of like
Ballin' at the club.
But, you know, in regards to the whole mix, right? So we turn on everything. We'll turn on our vocal bus as well. And then we can kind of go here. Now we need to listen to the beat.
What more could I?
See, there we got a little bit of noise, right? Can you hear that? You know, because now obviously we've lifted the level.
What more?
You know?
What more could I?
You know, but we could add a NoiseGate on there, man, and not stress too much. But regardless with the beat,
what more could I want? Not a thing.
you know, all I have to do then is really just, you know, do some cuts.
What more could I want? Not a thing. Not a thing. When I met you, perfect timing. Damn, I've been really grinding. You shine bright like diamonds. Let me drape pass out. Ballin' at the club, sipping yak. Damn, I like the way you throw it back. I've been in the store.
You know what I mean? So once we have our rough mix really good, it gives us room to play around. You know, I always tell people, man, people say, man, I just can't get it right. And I'm saying, how are you recording? And they're not even considering recording. And it just makes your life so much more difficult down the line. Because then, you know, if you're copying a preset or whatever, you know, none of these are helping you because you haven't taken the time to first record a bit better. You know what I mean? Just the 10%, 20% improvement will give you way better, more usable results. So hopefully this video makes sense. I did end up ranting because, you know, it's taken me so long to kind of get used to really consistently recording vocals so that everything sounds good. Now, a good amateur move, if you are a bit loud and you're not capable of rapping, you know, kind of in one volume, is to buy yourself a compressor. Get yourself a cheap analog compressor. You can record into that, and then your vocals will be a bit more consistent, because you'll know when you're overdriving that compressor too much, because you'll start to hear it, you know. So yeah, that's all I can give you. I hope you had a good time, and I'll check out the next video. Peace out.